I deleted my LeetCode streak. 280 days, done. On purpose. Not because grinding problems is useless. It's not. But because I realized that I was optimizing for the wrong things. And once I realized what labs like Anthropic and all the major AI jobs actually ask for, my daily routine changed completely. So today I'm gonna show what actually replaced it and why it's a better use of your time if you're very serious about getting into top AI labs or if you're serious about getting into AI jobs. So out of the 5 people who watched my last video, you guys might not know that I'm starting a series in which I deliberately make an attempt on how to get into these top AI labs. I've made a roadmap and I'm gonna practically work on it every week. This is gonna be a proof of what happens when we decide to make an action and what follows. So here's what got me. I read through real interview experiences, the blogs of people who actually wrote out their experiences after getting interviewed at an AI lab or for an AI job. And I saw one distinctive pattern. This pattern showed up again and again. I mean, these days, honestly, someone rarely says that I got in because I solved 500 LeetCode problems. Instead, what these people actually said was, I could reason through a system that I had never seen before, or I could explain a trade-off under pressure, or I didn't panic when I didn't know what else to do. That's not a LeetCode skill, that's a judgment skill. Judgment doesn't come from pattern matching and solving LeetCode problems, finding patterns how this problem might be solved. It comes from doing reps on hard problems that are genuinely hard, that makes your brain want to think. That's the only way to strengthen judgment. So I'm not grinding for pattern recognition anymore. I'm grinding for composure. So what I do is I solve minimum 2 DSA problems, but the way I solve it is a little bit different. It's a mix of traditional as well as a little bit of new thing that I adopted. What I do is I sit and solve a problem. I do brute force. I try to come up with an optimized solution. But once I have an optimized solution, I try to think in what other ways can this problem be solved. I try to come up with at least 3 solutions. If I can't, I take help of Google, AI and whatnot. So in a nutshell, for DSA, I try to solve a single problem in at least 3 to 4 ways. Number 2, one system design every day, no exceptions. And I think this is the important bit which most of the people skip. And I think it's most beneficial long term. Here's why I'm treating system design as a priority and not a side quest. Coding problems has a right answer. A system design does not. It's you, a blank whiteboard, an ambiguous problem, and someone watching how you think. Do you ask the right clarifying questions? Do you make reasonable trade-offs? Do you know when you're out of your depth? And how do you deal with that situation? And most importantly, how do you handle a time crunch? That's exactly the roadblock test I talked about in my first video. So in the first week for DSA, I've solved minimum 2 DSA problems every day in as many solutions I could have come up with, and one system design problem every day. I'm not going to get a prize, but what I've noticed till now is I understand systems better, how to design, how to, even if I'm doing something using AI, what will be the right direction. I steer the AI instead of letting it steer me. Current job markets have put people at a weird spot. Almost everyone expects you to use AI to do your work. But to get to that position, you have to prove that you can do things without AI as well. So if you use AI extensively for your work, you're also handing off your learning to AI along with your work. But if you don't use AI, then you're obviously left behind because the world is moving too fast. I'm not going to pretend that it feels good. Doesn't feel good to do this every day. Some days, some DSA problems take hours and I still don't get it clean. Some days I build a system in which I don't properly understand the trade-offs. But that's a part of it, right? That's the whole point of learning. So here's the actual claim that I'm making. Consistency on hard, ambiguous problems beats volume on easy, familiar ones. Every time. You don't need to solve 500 DSA problems. You don't need to grind your whole day for just to solve LeetCode questions. You just need enough reps on the right kind of problem so that when you're in a room under pressure with something that you've never seen, you don't freeze. That's the whole point. So I'm gonna keep on continuing this documentation every week, what I'm solving, what I'm getting wrong, and where I'm actually improving. If you want to build this habit along with me, you just gotta stick along, because next week I'm gonna be breaking down the exact system design problems, how system design has changed, and why system design is one of the most fundamental part of AI interviews these days. So let's get into it. I'll meet you in the next one.